Hello, I'm Richard, and today I'm talking about Claudia Gray's Star Wars Bloodline. This is Claudia Gray's second Star Wars novel. Her first was Lost Stars, which paralleled the original trilogy and then featured the Battle of Jakku as seen from space. This novel picks up 20 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. In it, Princess Leia is now a member of the New Republic Senate, a body that is so bogged down by bureaucratic nonsense and intransigence that it gets very little, if anything, done. Han Solo is still married to Princess Leia. They are not separated, though their work often keeps them apart. Luke Skywalker and Ben Solo are off somewhere else in the galaxy training, probably wherever they were training when Snoke began to influence Ben Solo and turned him into Kylo Ren. So, that's where everything starts. The basic plot is that the ambassador from Ryloth comes to the Senate asking their help in overturning and preventing the work of a smuggler. So the Senate has two main parties, the Populists, who want a loose coalition of worlds, and the Centrists, who want to concentrate power. Leia is a populist. She says that she will make this her final mission. She will go there and investigate, and this way she can feel like she's actually accomplished something before she retires from the Senate. Ransolm Casterfo, a centrist senator, agrees to go with her. He too is tired of the bureaucratic nightmare that is the Senate. Along the way, they discover the beginnings of the First Order, a group calling itself the Amassing Warriors, which takes its name from an earlier paramilitary group prior to the Old Republic, or during the Old Republic, excuse me. And while they're investigating, they find out that this group is not just a couple anti-government types, it's a pretty sizable militia. They begin to uncover that several of these centrist worlds have connections to the smuggling ring and to these militia people. And one of the senators even says that she's beginning the First Order, saying,
"Or have you forgotten your loyalties? Do you no longer wish to restore what we lost with the Empire? Have you abandoned the First Order completely?" Never before had Lady Carice spoken those words out loud in her office. The First Order. Someday the entire galaxy would shout them with pride, but for now they were too secret, too sacred to be taken lightly.
So that makes Bloodline the first appearance of the First Order, at least in the timeline. Of course, the first canonical appearance will be The Force Awakens. Now, the cover shows Darth Vader's shadow looming over Princess Leia, and that does play a role. Leia has only told Han Solo of her parentage. Luke, of course, knows because he's the one that knew Anakin was his father. She assumes Han probably told Chewie, but she's kept it a secret. She's afraid that people would believe that she couldn't be trusted if they knew her father was the second most evil man in recent history. Well, naturally, the secret gets out, and so she has to deal with that. It basically torpedoes her political career. But she continues her investigation, now even more in a quasi-legal manner, and uncovers a great deal more, is prepared to bring this to the Senate, and is prevented from doing that by bureaucracy and by political scheming. The politics in this are the kind of exciting backroom deals that are in House of Cards. You do see events on the Senate, but it's mostly just to help explain how bogged down in bureaucracy everything is. So we're not running into the kind of stuff that kind of made Episode 1 drag a little. Claudia Gray's characters are fantastic, of course. Princess Leia gets... she just really is an amazing... She's always been an amazing character, but seeing her, after she's won her battles, and now having to kind of deal with where do you go after the war is over, and how do you rebuild a system. It's fascinating. So That's a lot of fun. You also do get the first hints of the Resistance when Princess Leia organizes some people that are hiding away some weapons that they have captured from the smugglers, and she says,
"The sun is setting on the New Republic," Leia said. "It's time for the Resistance to rise."
So, this book sets up the events of The Force Awakens probably more so than Lost Stars did, or even Chuck Wendig's first Aftermath book. Now, he will have a second Aftermath book and a third. Those are going to take place before the events of this, so they could further help set that up. But as for the First Order and the Resistance, they really come out of this novel. So I encourage you to read this. I really hope that Claudia Gray writes more Star Wars. She's already contributed 2. They're both fantastic, so she can only write great stuff as far as I'm concerned, at least in Star Wars. So please, if you're interested, you want to know more, you're trying to fill in that 30-year gap between Jedi and The Force Awakens, pick up Bloodline. Thanks for watching.